What's going on? It's time for another episode of Too Hard for the Radio, transmitting from the future free state of Greater Idaho. I am the one armed madman. And back with us today from Music City, America. It's Daniel Steele.
What's
Dan,
happening, everybody?
it's a pleasure as always.
Yeah. What's been happening? Not much, right?
Nah, it was a pretty quiet weekend, Daytona Bike Week. That was about the biggest thing going on.
Was it bike week?
Yeah, Bike Week at Daytona Supercross. Eli Tomac,
Supercross is there too.
Yeah,
So
they do.
You're monitoring that pretty close, then I bet.
Oh yeah. I'm all in on Daytona Supercross. It's probably one of my favorite races of the year. There's like 3 big races of the year. Well, 4. You've got Anaheim 1, which is the opening round of Supercross, and you've got Daytona, then Redbud, which is 4th of July weekend, and then you got Motocross of Nations, which is like the Olympics of motocross. So those are like the 4 biggest races of the year.
And is Daytona like the kickoff?
No, Daytona's like halfway point of the Supercross series. Anaheim won the opening round. Yeah, so we're already 8 rounds in on Supercross. It goes fucking fast. Shit happens quick.
And how long is the season?
17 rounds of Supercross, 11 rounds of outdoors, 3 rounds of playoffs.
In time, how long is it?
It goes from let's see, early January to late October.
Okay.
Which is
just like a couple months break.
Yeah, it's just insane. And then these guys practice 3 days a week where, like in football, when you practice, or baseball, you don't really practice at all. Sometimes you take batting practice before a game or something like that. Basketball, they don't practice all that much. If they do, it's kind of just shooting drills or whatever, Yeah. But these guys run full out 3 days a week in between races, which is just fucking nuts. Like it's probably the most brutal sport in the world.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And I mean, these guys are pegged at 200 heartbeats for 200 BPMs for 20 minutes plus a lap in Supercross, and then 35 minutes in motocross.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's brutal. And then, in motocross, it's 100 degrees with high humidity depending on where they're at. It's fucking brutal. They did a scientific study a couple years ago. It's been a while now that they did it, but it was like UCLA or something like that. And they found that it was like one of the most physically grueling sports on earth. It was like motocross, boxing, and I don't remember what the other one was. Maybe triathlon or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a brutal sport. They don't get enough credit and don't make enough money for as gnarly as they are. So what else is going on in the world today?
I was just checking the pizza index.
Oh,
extreme pizza is really high at 78%. Domino's by the Pentagon's at close to 100% or at 100%. Also to be noted, the Little Gay Pub is only at 3%. So it seems like we're going to be busy tonight.
Yeah, no shit, right? That's so hilarious. That's so fucking funny. Did you see that Bill Maher gave an apology to QAnon recently?
No.
Yeah, he was like, based on the Epstein files and all this shit going on, I feel like I owe QAnon an apology.
Oh, Jesus.
That's fucking hilarious when QAnon ages better than Bill Maher.
Yeah, I feel like they think that this is going to make people forget about it, but it seems like Massey's still geared up about it.
Yeah. And dude, I like the guy that Trump is running against, Massey, has like 0 traction, which is cool to see. Like, he's barely got any Twitter followers. Like, any tweet that he puts out is typically either like community noted or just a bunch of people down in the comments telling him he's a fucking liar and he's a piece of shit and just to go home.
And the people in Massey's district really like him, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're all about it. He's going to win again, which is great. It's going to be so embarrassing for Trump when he wins again, because he just doesn't have the ability to see that like anything he throws the American people, they don't necessarily have to fucking be all in on, which is great. Speaking of not being all in on, I was looking up at polls for this recent debacle in the Middle East, and it seems like around 60 to 75% of Americans are not for what's going on right now.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Even there, dude, honestly, that's actually funny that you say that. Let me go to this one. It says Trump, quote, I don't care about polling showing in Iran strikes unpopular. He just straight up says, I don't care if you don't like it. I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, this is if they can get this wrapped up in 4 or 5 weeks, pass the Save Act and get some traction, I think he's going to be fine.
You think
Or,
they're going to be able to get it done in 4 to 5 weeks? I don't know.
I mean, neither do I.
It seems like the new Ayatollah that they put in is more radical than the last one, which is kind of the
They have
same
a third one?
circumstance. I guess I was just listening to Tucker. Tucker
Oh.
did a good like solo hour and
But
40 minute
how old
show.
is that information that Tucker was working off of? Because
Came
like
out today.
huh?
It came out like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, but you have to
I don't
prep
know.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Last I heard, the second Ayatollah like got killed on his first day, which was yesterday.
Huh.
And oh, I have to stand corrected. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Saturday when I text you. The order of events that I saw that happen was Israel and the US struck Iran. And then Iran just started shooting missiles at bases everywhere other than Israel for the most part. I'm like, wow, that seems like a false flag. But it turns out that they decentralized their military.
Oh, really?
So everybody who every they put together these groups and they just have directives based on Thursday's information.
So it's kind of like rogue generals kind of
Yeah,
just doing
yeah.
what
Well,
they think is
they
best.
did it so that they couldn't, cut off CENTCOM
Yeah.
yeah. So
They
I'm
turned it
guessing
into a
that,
leviathan with multiple heads. So you got to cut off all the heads of the dragon instead of just one.
yep. And
Kind of a smart move.
yeah. But I'm guessing that not now based on that information, I'm guessing that they assumed that all of those people would let them use their base. And they're like, okay, your job is to attack Kuwait, your job's to
Yeah.
attack UAE. And they just attacked them and they didn't have to.
That's weird, dude. You know what Tucker was also saying is that I guess today or whenever today was that he recorded that Qatar and UAE were arrested a group of Mossad agents who were planning
Yes.
to bomb, which is just crazy. Like you'd think, oh, these are their allies. Why would they bomb them? No, they want greater Israel. This is about taking the
Yeah.
entire fucking Middle East rather than just, expanding their leverage over the entire area.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Um,
good. It's not good.
not bad for my business.
No, is that
Sure, let's
is
not
this
talk
week-
about that.
I was just fucking thinking about this a few minutes ago when you sent me that thing about the Israeli stock market today too. It's like, how crazy is it that like we are such a fucked up society that war is an economic boom just immediately, you know? Like,
How
it's
fucked
just-
up is it that they didn't shut down their stock market today?
Yeah, like it's just crazy to me like that immediately it's like, oh, this is good for business. We're ripping and roaring today. It's like, oh my God. Like I remember last 4th of July, like I saw a post on Twitter that just kind of made me sick. It was a post of an aircraft carrier like launching airplanes and it was talking about how like freedom equals war. And it was just like, Orwellian in nature, just like the idea that like when normal people in America, not everybody, but like a good portion of American, just normal people, when they think of freedom, they just automatically think of war and military. They don't think about like economics and art and all of these things that like made America the shining light on the hill. Have you ever seen this video? It's really interesting to watch. I'll send it to you after the show if you've never seen it, but Everybody should go check this out. It's Metallica performing in Moscow in like 1991. This was like months after the Cold War ended and the communist regime toppled. And there's like 1.5 million people there just screaming and yelling and having a great fucking time. And
Yeah.
it's like it wasn't our military so much that like killed the communist regime. It was like the art and the culture in America that even people that were living in Russia that had to keep it quiet, like they still loved Metallica and everybody knew the words to that song. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen because, it just kind of shows like what the proper route for like toppling these regimes should be. You know,
Yeah.
pummel them with our art, pummel them with our culture, and just show them that there's a better way to live rather than just dropping bombs on them left and right. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. When I spent quite a bit of time in Romania,
Mhm.
and this was, 30 years after communism collapsed. And a few things. One, and this isn't exactly what you're talking about, but one thing that I really liked versus what we do is in the villages, because they only got about, I don't know, 40% of their food from the government because, like, they're just bread lines and shit. So everybody grew something and it was all different. So they just traded. But to your point, I sat at this mall and this bake at this like cafe. They had, fresh shit, coffee, all that. And right across the walkway, a Starbucks opened. And
Oh,
people were waiting in line for 2 hours to get in the door at Starbucks to get a worse version. They didn't have like Frappuccino and all the shit that we have here. Because over there, they don't like do coffee like we do coffee. They just do espresso. That's it for the most part. So it's just like same shit that was at the little cafe, probably cheaper there. And people just waited and even on TV, people that clearly didn't speak English had, had on shirts that American logo shit that they didn't even know what it said. Even like my Romanian friends here, most of their shirts had sayings on them. I would never wear a whatever with a saying on it, but all of them had it. It was pretty wild.
yeah. And speaking of like art and culture in America and how like, in the 70s and 80s, we put out the best art, the best movies, the best music. And like our music is still pretty good. A lot of it is bullshit, but there are some really good music artists out there. I sent you this picture of this the other day. Here's the art and culture that we are putting out today. Lesbian Space Princess, a heartfelt and hilarious space opera. A space princess is thrust out of her sheltered life and into a galactic quest to save her bounty hunter ex-girlfriend from the straight white Malians.
Malians.
Malians. That's what we're putting out today, Dan.
Have you ever seen the show Shoresy?
No.
It's on Hulu. Now every year when it comes on, I just get Hulu for a month, binge watch it all in 5 days, and I'm done. Um, and I was telling my buddy in Canada, like, because this show, like, the woke agenda is like out of the storyline, and it's like, oh,
Uh-huh.
this guy's family is all adopted, and they have two of the girls were lesbians, but like that's not the storyline,
Mhm.
and it's just hot bitches and people playing hockey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
and
like just give me a good fucking watch,
yeah. And so I was telling my buddy about it in Canada. I'm like, dude, you got to check this out. And he goes looking for it. And I
Not
guess the
available.
show that's getting promoted in Canada now is a gay hockey show where the captains of two different teams fall in love. And I'm like, dude, why are you calling it gay hockey? This is like the furthest thing from me. He's like, no, the gay hockey show. And I went and looked it up, and it's a thing. They tried to make hockey gay even.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I watched this movie a while back. I don't know if I told you about it or not. I think I told you about the stupid fucking show that I watched on Netflix last time we were on, but I watched this movie. It's called A Quiet Place. It's like the first one was like this alien invasion where these aliens had like crazy hearing. So if you made a sound, like they just fucking ate you up. So everybody had to be quiet in the movie. And it was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like super woke or anything like that. And it was pretty good. The second one got a little worse. And then they decided to put out a prequel. Like, and the whole tagline on it was like, find out why the aliens came and who they are and all that type of shit. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Like maybe they're going to get it back on track for this one. And dude, it wasn't even an alien invasion movie. First off, you didn't find out anything about the aliens. There was one like 2-minute scene where it showed them like laying eggs. So
Yeah.
like that's it. That's all you really get. And it was about like this lesbian poet who had a tumultuous relationship with her father, and her whole goal throughout the end, and she's got cancer, so she's dying of cancer. And when the first, like, she's addicted to opioids. So when like the aliens first land and the power goes out and everything, her first thought wasn't, I better get to a pharmacy and find some opioids. Otherwise, I'm going to be so sick that I'm not going to be able to fucking move. Her first thought was, I want to go to the pizza parlor that I used to go to with my dad. And that was the whole movie. Her getting pizza. And then some pussy ass guy like got scared of the aliens and then like started following her around like a puppy dog. And it was the worst thing. And it's like, dude, can't I just get a fucking alien invasion movie? Is that so hard?
And if
like, do we
they're
have to have
gonna-
these ridiculous fucking stories? So like basically some screenwriter wrote some stupid fucking story about some chick and her dad and decided to wrap it in some popular IP so they could get views on it, essentially. Like that's all it was.
Yeah. The oh shit, Bitcoin's up a little, so congrats on that.
Nice.
Up to,
I can't
like,
decide if I want it to keep going up or if I want it to keep going down so I can get some better buying opportunities. We'll see.
Oh, you haven't got your money yet?
No, I got it. I just don't know that I want to buy right now.
Yeah, fair.
I'm looking at 50. I'm looking at my target is around 50.
Oh, I'll buy some more, then it'll definitely go down.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I bought the literal top and it's been going down. I have a buddy who he's been on my cell phone plan since we got cell phones. He just pays me every month on Cash App, and I just put it into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I cashed it all out. I'm like, just fuck this. It always goes down. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck them. And I even post on LinkedIn, if like sell now because I'm buying, and
Yeah.
we're gonna hit a bottom. And then like a month
I bought the top on the last cycle and I decided this time I'm not doing that again. So once it went above like 80, I was like, I'm out and I'm gonna wait for the next
well, it's like
correction.
68 now,
Yeah, something like that.
but it was down to like 63 on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like, I kind of think we're in territory now where we're going to see in the next coming cycles, we're going to see lower highs and higher lows. And it's not going to be as, fluctuating as it's been in the past, not quite as volatile. We'll see, though. I don't really know.
We won gold since the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
I mean, major correction, though.
Huh?
Oh,
No, we won. America did.
Oh, are you talking about
Hockey
hockey?
gold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we won the female on Friday, which I didn't even realize it was on. And like I saw something, I turned it on, there was like a couple minutes left. And then the male was on Sunday, and I went up to my buddy's bar and I ate a bagel, which is usually sufficient to drink, but my buddy had to leave to take his kid to the airport, so I ended up bartending, but I couldn't charge anybody because he didn't tell me how to work the POS. So I puked in the bathroom. I came home. I puked. My wife, we were supposed to do some vending for Happy. I'm on the floor. My wife's like, "You're not going, are you?" I said, "Nope."
Hey, that'll happen every once. I haven't been that drunk in a long time. Last time I was
Dude.
that drunk, I was in Maui, and I was like off of opioids
Yeah,
temporarily at the time because I like hadn't found buyers yet.
yeah.
Like I tried to find a buyer at one point, and the guy like brought me these fake pills that I instantly knew were fake. They were just,
Yeah.
something. He's like, "Well, I got some meth." I'm like, "No, I don't want any part of that." And he's like, Well, I'm pretty sure you're a cop, so you're going to do the meth. Otherwise, we're going to have problems. So I did the meth.
Twist my arm.
It was horrible, though. I hate meth. It's disgusting. I
Yeah.
told you on text a couple days ago, I had a dream the other night where I dreamt that if you do enough meth, you can travel through time, which you said, I think that's actually real.
Accurate. Accurate. I don't know from experience, but
No, yeah, me neither. Right. I haven't done it enough. Anyways, the last time I got that drunk, dude, I went to like a party at one of the bartenders places at like the bar that I worked at, and they were playing beer pong. And at this point, like I hadn't been drinking in years, so my tolerance was way fucking down. And I got so drunk, like I ended up like wanting to leave, and I took off on my moped, and I was like doing the cover one eye to try and ride. And I ended up just having to like park it on the side of the road and go sleep on the beach for a couple hours because I was fucking hammered, just like puking off the side of my moped, essentially.
yeah, I hadn't like December. I drank pretty much every day just because it was December and shit. So January, I like all but cut it out. So then now I just I don't enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy getting fucked up like that. Like I'll have a couple drinks or whatever, but
Yeah.
no more no more of that.
My
Um
limit's usually two. I'll have two old fashions at dinner if we go out to dinner, but I don't go any further than that. It makes it hard for me to sleep. Like I have a hard time sleeping. I feel like shit the next day, and it's just like you said, I don't enjoy getting fucked up
yeah.
anymore. It's just not my thing. So two drinks is where I call it.
My buddy, my business partner in the AI company, he owns a bar near us. And for Thanksgiving, like 6 weeks before Thanksgiving, I started barrel aging rye whiskey and fresh pressed apple cider. So I took it there. It was really good. Then I let it sit for another month to Christmas, and it was like really, really good. So I decided to start barrel aging shit for holidays. So I barrel aged whatever the competitor to Jameson is that they drink in Always Sunny because he's has some shit with that.
Tillamore Dew.
Huh?
Tillamore Dew.
Four walls.
Four walls. Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard that one. Yeah.
I took that and then I took two big cans of Guinness and I reduced it in a like saucepan and I put it in the barrel and I started drinking some yesterday and it's like I don't like Irish whiskey at all. I don't
Mhm.
like rye and that's like a mix of rye and Irish whiskey. I don't like Guinness, but this shit is just smooth. I poured a cup last night. It lasted me like 5 or 6 hours and that's pretty cool. Do you know what Malort is?
No, I never heard that.
It's this trash fucking uh I guess it's an aperitif, but like they had some guy that's just doing social media shit just about how bad it is and they embraced it. And now everybody's like, oh, drink a Malort, it's trash, kind of like Rumplemans or Jaeger or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and they fucking love it at that bar. So now I got some wood chips, and I'm gonna put mustard in the Malort, uh, let that soak, strain it like the mustard seeds, not like mustard, and then barrel age it with those oak chips. So we'll see if we have some fancy ass Malort. I'm not even usually I taste everything as I do it. No fucking chance.
Nah, not on this one. I
No.
uh I planted a bunch of not a bunch, like let's see, one, two, three. I planted four flowering plum trees at my house a couple years ago, and they weren't supposed to be fruit producing, but they like three of them put out a ton of fucking plums. I think I had like 40 pounds of plums last year out of
Oh
all
no
of these
shit.
fucking trees. So I'm gonna do some sort of like plum liqueur this year. I don't know if I'm gonna do like I think a brandy would probably be best with the plums. I'm not really sure though.
Um, it plum brandy is very good.
That's what
I
I've
had
heard.
it in
I've never tried
Romania.
it, but I've heard it's really good.
Because in Romania, I said in the village, everybody has something that they grow or whatever. What they do, the person who has like the fruit trees takes all their extra fruit at the end of the year and they make brandy or they make um, they have their own form of moonshine, but it's with a fruit. I
Hmm.
can't. The name's escaping me. Um, Palinka is the drink. Like the Hungary and Romania argue about who does it better, who had it first, or whatever. But they were basically the same country for a long time. So, but it's so I had both the rum and the Palinka. The Palinka just tastes like fucking gasoline.
Yeah.
It's funny if you're an American, they'll get a glass and they'll pour you like that much in the glass and they'll pour themselves like that much and just kind of watch and see what happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm not really a fan of brandy. Like I don't know, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
And I worked at a winery in Northern California for 2 years, like during the financial crisis when I couldn't find like any work at bars or anything like that. Plus, I was a fucking drug addict, so I wasn't looking great to be working behind a bar, anyways. But anyways, they during like the crush party, they had this big white oak cask like barrel that
Yeah.
was I don't know, dude. It was probably 200 years old. Like this barrel was old as shit. Like even the cellar that the winery was in, it was
Yeah.
like pre earthquake proof building. So it was just like a 4 or 5 foot concrete wall, essentially.
Yeah.
So even when it was like 110 degrees outside, it would be like 65 inside of the cellar, even with doors open. It was pretty cool. But, anyways, I don't know how old the brandy was that was in this cask, but they like poured everybody a shot of it out of it. And like this is it's a big ass barrel. It's like 15 feet tall and like 5 feet deep. So like this thing has been aged for a really long time
Yeah.
and it fucking kicked ass.
Yeah. My experience with brandy has been like really cheap shit, which is never good. And then after dinner at really fancy places,
Yeah.
they pull a cart around, and that's like not my style either. But the stuff that I drank in Romania was really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
I'm sure it can be
imagine that
done
it,
right.
yeah,
We
I
have
imagine that if it's
some,
done right. So what do you have to do to make brandy?
I don't really know. Like they make like fermentation kits that they sell on Amazon, but they're kind of vague in like what they produce. And I was kind of looking into it on ChatGPT, and it gave me some ideas. So at the time, like I was looking into it, it was a little bit too late to do it. Like the I had already picked most of it, and it was kind of like starting to go bad at the time. So I decided, fuck it, I'll just wait for this year. So I'm gonna look into it a little bit more this year and figure it out.
Yeah, I have Manus is looking into it for me right now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, send me the
Yeah.
results. Speaking of AI, you sent me a really cool like AI build that somebody did on like a war tracker the other day.
Oh yeah, I so I have the one that I sent you, I've gone back to, but there was another one that I was setting up and they have all these filters for the map and I'm like, okay, just turn on civil unrest,
Yeah.
war, shit like that. And I open it back up and the map has just a million of these purple dots. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's civil unrest. There's like 50 things across the US that they count as civil unrest. I'm like,
Wow.
wow, I do not need to be knowing all that. Like
Yeah, and dude,
that
like
will
where
not
I
help
live,
my mental
there's
health.
no civil unrest here. Like I remember telling people during COVID, like, dude, if you walked outside where I live, like nobody's wearing masks. Like it just seems like a normal day, you know? Especially
Yeah,
like during the summer of love, like when all of shit was cracking down. Like if you didn't watch the news and you just didn't care and you were a football guy and just not plugged in at all, you'd have no idea anything strange was going on in the country.
dude, I watched the Summer of Love way too much, like to the point where I had like 6 YouTube channels all streaming on the
Yeah.
same thing. And for whatever reason, I focused in on the one in fucking Minneapolis, and I
Yeah.
saw Rittenhouse kill those people live.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
I saw
that.
it live. Yeah,
He did a predator catch with Alex Rosen a couple months ago.
of course he did.
Yeah, it was funny. Like at one point he was joking. He was like, "Oh, you know who this guy is?" And he's like, "No, no idea." And he's like, "Oh, well, you should probably be a little nervous around him because, he doesn't like people like you."
Do you know who Sean Strickland is from the UFC?
Uh-huh.
He took Kyle Rittenhouse into his gym and one of his main training partners, black. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is so." The black guy's like, "This is so disrespectful. Get him the fuck out of here." Like he just heard the headlines or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he probably shot black people or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was dude, Sean Strickland. He fought 2 weeks ago, and now UFC's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, really?
So at the press conference, what did he say? He started talking, then his mic went out. Like they unplugged his mic. And he was, I think what he said, it was something along the lines of, because the opponent that he's interested in fighting is a Russian, like from Dagestan or whatever.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm going to bring a goat to the fight so he'll get distracted because he wants to fuck it or something.
He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
He did
it's
like a
wild.
crossover monster promotion with like a dirt bike racer recently, and he like broke his shoulder or his wrist or something like that riding a dirt bike.
Yeah, I believe it.
Eh,
That guy
yeah.
has no care for his own health. He's
And
like
like,
a
dude,
week out from a
honestly,
fight doing that shit.
he was pretty good right off the rip, which is like pretty impressive. Like dirt bike riding is not easy. It's kind of like I'm sure you've tried surfing before. Like surfing looks so easy and it's so
I've never tried surfing.
okay.
I'm
Well,
not gonna go. I'm not gonna go sit on this thing that makes my silhouette look like a seal
yeah,
out where the fucking great whites are. Yeah,
yeah.
you can miss me with that. Yeah, I just tend to stay away from shit like that. Not going to Hawaii ever. Oh, Ozzy,
Yeah, he's going nuts. I hit the mute there for a
you
minute.
can't hear him on this side.
He's going crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Not going to Hawaii, not gonna go hang out at a fucking volcano. No shot. Just like miss me with all of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do the volcano thing either. I always wanted to learn how to surf because I thought it looked like fun. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's one of those sports where you watch it on TV and the guys make it look so easy. And like, I know how to snowboard, I know how to wakeboard, so I figured I'd be good at it right off the bat. But actually, the hardest part of it was like putting yourself in the position to get the wave. Like, once I got up on the board, I was good, but I was always a little too close or a little too far away to catch the wave, and I get rolled up and it was or just not catch it at all, and it was fucking difficult. And dirt bike riding's the same. Like I can't tell you how many times over the years like I heard people like, oh, it's got a motor, the bike does all the work, and it's like, nah, dude, the bike doesn't do all the work at all. Like I remember talking to we were out at a like dirt jumps for BMX bikes one time when I was a kid. And at this point, like I was a good dirt bike rider, but I was not a good BMX rider. Like I was always scared of dirt jumps for some reason. Like I just, without the motor, I just didn't feel comfortable on the bike, and the bike's so light. Like I just didn't like ever feel comfortable jumping a bike. And I remember telling one of the older guys that was out there, I was like, dude, if I brought my dirt bike out here, I'd fucking jump all of these things. It's just not my thing. He's like, oh, well, shit, if I had a dirt bike, like I'd be so much better than you, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember he got a bike a couple years later and we were out at this like local riding area and I was just blowing by him like he was standing still. And I remember afterwards he was just like unwilling to even look at me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I grew up really poor in Detroit, so we just didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
One my aunt and uncle had a place up north. The only thing that I rode was a three-wheeler. I
Oh,
guess those
so
things are
dangerous.
really fucking dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I did nothing. And then I started selling cars when I was 18. And one might have been the second year in Michigan every year in like February we'd get something usually get where it just everything melts. Just everything melts for a day and then it all comes back. And we had taken in a motorcycle on trade and it all melted. And I went on a ride with my boss, and he was going. He two of us on the bike, and we were going like 120, and we were coming up to a railroad track. And he just slams on the brake. I'm like, all right, dude, just take me back. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, that didn't feel right. And then we took in a snowmobile on trade. We got snow, and I'm flying through the cornfield at like 65 miles an hour. I'm like, no, can't do this. Like, I am gonna fucking kill myself. So I just never did that stuff after.
I've never ridden a snowmobile before. I've always wanted to. And
It's fun.
it
It's
looks
really fun.
really fun.
Yeah.
Now they make like a snow bike kit where you can get a dirt bike and you like extend the swing arm and put a track on the back and then ski on the front. and
Okay.
it's supposed to be really fun. My mom's husband rode one recently, and he was like, "Oh, dude, it's one of the funnest things I've ever done," which looks super fun.
How much is the conversion kit?
Probably a lot, probably as much as the bike itself.
Oh,
Like
Jesus.
it's not, it's no fucking around. Like it takes a lot of work to make one of those things into a snow bike. But
Yeah.
you can buy a used bike and do it. You don't have to have a brand new bike to do something like that.
Well, you would just take your bike, make it a snow bike in the winter, and then take it off in the summer, right?
Yeah, you can do that
Yeah.
too, for sure. I would think it would be more work to do the transfer. I don't know, maybe not. It's stuff like that doesn't take quite as long as you think typically. So I don't know. But like a lot of the guys that do them, they hop up the engines on the bikes a little bit because like you can get a 450 going pretty freaking fast if you really want to. Like a 450 dirt bike is way too fast for the general public. Like when so like it's an interesting story actually with dirt bikes. So up until like the late 90s, every race bike was a two-stroke.
Okay.
And most dirt bikes in the world were sold in California. And California had these stickers that they would give you, a green sticker or a red sticker. And a green sticker basically meant you could ride out in the mountains year round. And then they instituted these red stickers to where essentially they wouldn't let you ride a two-stroke in the hills in the summertime because like two-strokes have a little bit of oil that comes out of the back of the pipe that's like not even hot enough to start a fire. It was just an excuse to keep people from riding. So like one of the compromises was, well, you just if you make a four-stroke, we'll let you ride it year round. So all of the companies like started with Yamaha, put a ton of R&D into building like four strokes that could compete with a two-stroke, and they did it. The bikes are more expensive. And what happened is nobody was really paying attention to like what the displacement level should be on the bikes in order to like be, eligible to race competitively with the classes that were already there. So you had a 125 two-stroke class and a 250 two-stroke class. So Yamaha built a 400 four-stroke, which right off the bat was faster than a 252 stroke, but the R&D
Yeah.
wasn't quite there. So like there was still some problems with them early on, but then they let them go up to 450 and then they let them do a 250 for the 125 class. And it just completely displaced the two strokes because a 252 stroke was not even close to competitive with a 450. And it was even worse in the 125 class. Like 125s were slow. And like
Yeah.
that was kind of the point of them. And it's really kind of screwed everything up ever since because like I was saying, a 450, there's only like a couple guys in the world that can ride a 450 to its like true capabilities. There's like half a dozen guys, maybe. Everybody else just has problems with them because they're too fast. So even guys who like win in the 250 class now, most of them have problems in the 450 class because the bike is so fast. And like one of the problems is like rotating mass. So like the crank is so big on a 450 that it just drives you through everything. So it makes the bike harder to handle than like a 252 stroke or a 254 stroke.
Yeah.
And you've got these classes that are the 450 class and the 250 class, and they're destroying the tracks now because the bikes have so much power that like a supercross track can't really stand up under an entire night of racing under these bikes, especially when they put like a sand tire on the bike. They
Yeah.
really destroy it. And the real problem though is like 450s are too fucking powerful for the average
Yeah.
hobbyists that just go out and ride. And
Yeah.
one company is putting out a 350 now, but a lot of people have too much ego and they don't want to admit that a 450 is too much for them. So like a lot of people, especially like older people who, you're 40 years old, you have a kid and you want to get back into riding. It's like, oh, well, I had a 252 stroke when I was young. I'll just buy a 450. And then they just destroy themselves because the bike's way too fast. And
Yeah.
it all stemmed out of environmentalism. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as they put out the four strokes a couple years later, they slapped a red sticker on them too.
Bastards.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Communists.
So what's happening in the world of AI? Do we have any new developments, any new products coming out that are doing anything different, or are we kind of
Yeah.
plateaued still?
Oh no, no, it's fucking changing every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's changing faster now than it was 3 months ago, a year ago. It, so the big hype right now is what's it called? It's called OpenClaw now. Came out as ClaudeBot, just like a way to make agents with natural language. You hook it up on a computer, you give it access to everything on your computer, and it just goes. And that's how most people use it. And there's a ton of security risks with that. But I mean, people are doing some pretty wild shit with it. I just started using it, just testing some things, trying to build. So I built an entire web application that pulls in data, scores it, says, what it falls into. I don't want to talk about the actual use case.
Sure.
Says what it falls into. Um, and I got it working pretty quick. And then my machine, I was just leasing space online. The machine fucking broke and haven't been able to get on it. So I actually just spun up a new instance with a new service right before dinner. I haven't fucked with it yet. So I'm going to see if I can pull all that code in, look at it, get it running again. Um, but it's what it does is it proves that agents work, even if there's a lot of security risks with it. And now, you know, people like me, it's our job to put guardrails on it to make
Mhm.
sure people can use it safely.
You got to test it and
Yeah.
find out what it does good, what it does
Well, not,
bad, and
right.
where it needs to be
Yeah.
constrained.
So like in OpenClaw or whatever it's called, actually, there's a funny story about that progression too, which I'll tell shortly. Um, you give it all of your API keys, which are like passwords, basically, and it just stores them on the machine. It doesn't do any encryption, no security, no bullshit like that. So it like there's there's a lot of problems with it because like people can just hack your shit. People were doing some shit with crypto in it. One of them gave away like 4 Bitcoin,
Ooh,
just gave away.
that hurts.
Yeah. Like there's definitely some security that needs to get built in. So the progression was this dude like sold his company a couple years ago, made enough money to retire, but not like Oprah rich or whatever. And he was just fucking around. He started building this thing and he built it and he put it out and it made it an open source product and he called it ClaudeBot. Anthropic fucking totally dropped the ball. They went after him with their lawyers and said, "Hey, you can't use the name Claude. It's too confusing." They wouldn't even let him forward the domain. So then they became Molt, and then he's like, "Oh no, that name kind of sucks." So he started calling it OpenClaw, and then Zuckerberg and the founder of OpenAI kind of got into a bidding war for it. So what they did is they hired the OpenAI ended up getting it. They hired the guy and then promised him resources to work on the open source project too. So Claude or Anthropic dropped the bag with the government last week, and the week before that, I mean, this was like the most viral open source project ever. After a week, it had like 200,000 stars on GitHub, which that probably all doesn't sound like much to anybody or what the fuck is that, but it's like really good, and it was open source, so there's a big community working on it, and Anthropic pushed them into OpenAI's arms and like they cut off the if you had a like a $200 subscription with Anthropic, you can't use it alongside the agent and everything. And so now this guy's working for OpenAI. He probably has enough money to retire, and Anthropic just dropped the ball on that. And then they tried to change U.S. policy through their terms and conditions.
Oh
Did
wow.
you hear about that?
I read something about it on Twitter, but I didn't look too deep into it. I figured you'd tell me about it.
Yeah. So I mean, this was the big news right before the war, so it kind of got washed away with the war, or whatever they call it. Can't be a war because Congress didn't approve it, but
Yeah.
um,
Terrorist attack.
this terrorist attack. Um, no, it would never be that. Um, so they used Anthropic to invent Venezuela. And Anthropic was like, hey, how did you use our stuff? We want to know. Department of War is like, I'm not going to tell you. And basically, they were like, well, we don't want our models killing people or surveilling people. And, or that's what they say they said. But what the government said was in a round of negotiations, there's this scenario where a nuclear bomb was flying at the US. They had to blow it up. And they asked Anthropic how they would deal with it. And Anthropic said, I don't know, you'd have to call us if it happened. Like, so what ended up happening was OpenAI swooped in and basically they're giving the core IP to the government so the government can run on their servers and stuff. And
Oh
anything that
shit.
runs in the cloud runs on OpenAI. And Sam Altman says, can't do this, this, and this, and this if it's in the cloud. Whatever you do over there doesn't matter. That's on you. That's your stuff. And it's the exact same thing that SpaceX does. SpaceX says that their technology can't be used in an act of aggression, but they have a completely different version of SpaceX for this Starlink
Starlink,
that the
yeah.
government runs. It's all SpaceX hardware, and the government runs the operations on it. So when Elon says our stuff is never used in any wars or anything like that, it's
Double
true.
speak.
Yeah. But the core problem with what Anthropic did or was doing was they were trying to dictate U.S. policy through their terms of service, meaning that we elect these people for better or for worse. Let's just say it's for better, and these people that dictate our policy for the military and stuff. Anthropic was basically saying, no, we can overrule you by our terms of service. And like that's just never going to happen. And I disagree with it very much too.
Yeah.
So,
That's concerning. That's definitely
yeah.
concerning. I did have a question about agents when you were talking about agents. So how, like, it seems like these things, fucking Aussie, it seems like these things still take some expertise to kind of use. It kind of sounds like they're a beta model still or in like beta mode. How
Yeah,
far?
it's a little closer. Like if I set you up with or you got set up with one of these open claw, lease the machines, and we put on a Chinese model because they're way cheaper, you would have things running after like 6 or 7 hours.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not terrible. But
No,
how far off do you think these things are from being just integrated into people's systems?
that's a really good question. First off, and I'm saying this because I believe it, not just because it's what we sell.
Mhm.
Um, there's this whole thing of data sovereignty. When you use OpenAI, Manus, Anthropic, whatever, they can take the actions that you take on their platform and train their model with it. They can take your data and they can train their model with it. The way that the models are improving, especially open source, is you can host your own model pretty easily. Well, you have to be, it's not hard to host your own model if you have some computer chops. So, and then you own all of your data. So there's going to be a shift to that. I think the big models are going to go after like fucking physics and shit like that. And
Mhm.
then just the retail user. But so what we're doing is we've shifted. So we still have the web platform that pulls in all the disparate data, but we're actually powering those with open source models. So it'd be like too hard for the radio GPT. Just
Mhm.
trained on all the shit that you do. And even if which is pretty unimportant, the training now, especially for a use case like yours, because there's other ways to trade it. It's called RAG, where it just kind of searches the information as opposed to putting it in the model. But if you create this ecosystem, it would all just be too hard for the radio, and it would stop getting trained with other things and
Mhm.
be really accurate for what you do. Actually, a new model just came out. I was talking on Slack with the guys that I work with. Like they're running these on iPhones now.
Oh wow.
And the what are we at? ChatGPT 5.
Something
Let's
like that.
say these models are like competitive with ChatGPT 4, except it runs on your device. So you don't spend anything. It's just free. It just runs, no subscriptions, no anything. It just runs and it's yours. It only costs you, if you want better hardware, you got to get the hardware and the electricity to power it,
Yeah,
as
that was going to
opposed
be
to
my next question. Where's the energy come from?
my house. Like
Oh, okay.
this,
So it's just running off of your phone
it
battery and
would
then
run
you're
off of a
charging it.
phone. It would run off of
Gotcha.
a Mac, whatever.
Which is
Um,
far more efficient than a lot of these big models that are running right now.
yes, absolutely. So that like that's the progression. I think that the models are just becoming commodities and it's a race to zero. Like let me just pull this up real quick.
Sure. And I'll
Um,
say while you're pulling it up, like I think there is a world where sacrificing your data to run like a higher model would be a decent trade-off. It's like, hey, look, we've got model 4 for the public, and if you want to run model 5, like you can do that, but we're going to scrape all your data and train a better model on it. And like I could see where people would be like, yeah, okay, I don't care. Do that.
yeah. So for the web application that I built last week, and I probably did it in the dumbest possible way because
Mhm.
like I'm just not trained in computer science. I used a bunch of models. Anthropic's model I spent the most money. I spent $136 using a Chinese version of something like that. I spent $2.80.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did a lot of the work, half of the work with Anthropic, but still, I spent, I spent fucking $136 on Anthropic. This is for half of the work. And then I spent three, six, seven, $8 on all of the other models that I was using.
Mhm.
So it's a big shift in
So,
cost.
so in dirt bike racing, most of these manufacturers put out a improved version of their bike every 4 years. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. But one of the things that they do in order to figure out how to improve this bike is they test every other model bike on the market. They'll ride them, they'll put them on frame rails and kind of test the torsion and the rigidity on the frame. They'll put the
Yep.
motors on the dynos and they'll get all of this information and go, where are our competitors doing something better than we're doing? And how do we integrate that into our new product? So is that something that you're doing for your company, is testing these models, figuring out what they do well, what they don't do well, and kind of getting a direction for yours?
Yeah, I think it's more like, okay, let's say ChatGPT 5 is just 100% on everything, which it isn't, but it's in the 90s to
Yeah.
100% on everything. Then I go and find this other model that takes very little hardware and is easy to use. And let's say it scores 88%. So this will cost you $10,000. This will cost you 1,000. Is 88% good enough? And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Gotcha. Gotcha. How's business been? You still flying around a lot and doing a lot of
No,
meetings and shit
I
like
haven't
that?
I haven't left since. Oh, I went to. Oh, that wasn't for this company. Yeah, I haven't left this year.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
I have one really big contract that is moving slow, and I'm kind of banking on that. So I haven't been around. I have so I have two contracts. One's in the real world and one's in the government space. And the one in the real world's plugging along and it's good money, but the one in the government space is stupid money.
For sure.
And I've just been waiting on that.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you about, I swear I've been meaning to, I like have it written down on my paper and in my notes on my iPad, and I keep forgetting to ask you about this. Has been months ago that we talked about this over text, but at one point you were training a model in PsyOps. How did that go? Are you still doing it? What's up with that?
Oh, that just kind of fell to the side, but I
Yeah.
want to. Yeah. Yeah, I want to I think it'd be fun to train it in advertising. So take the works of the best ad people like David Ogilvy, stuff like that, and then training it specifically in thought control psyops to have the best model to write ads. I think that'd be a good time. Actually, we might do that next week now.
Nice. Nice. It's
The one that I trained recently, there's this guy, I don't know how he found me, but he built he basically broke a house down into four pieces and you snap it together like Legos.
cool.
And his hope or whatever is to have a model because he has a lot of proprietary designs. So to have a model that's trained on his proprietary designs, you can just so it just gives you a floor plan that you want that works with his designs and it's done.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I
So
bought a tough shed last weekend.
how's
And
that?
I haven't got it installed yet. Like I figured it was going to take them like a month or two to, from the time I bought it to install, but I got a text the next day. They're like, "Can we install it on Saturday?" And I'm like, "No, I got to get rock still and like make a pad for this fucking
I have a
thing."
ward
So,
monitor.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So anyways, last Saturday or 2 days ago, we just dropped, I guess, 4 yards of rock down in my backyard and got it all
How much does
leveled
that
out.
cost?
It's like $26 a yard, something like that. It's not
Oh, okay. So
terrible,
it's like
but
$100, 120
yeah.
bucks.
And my mom's husband has a dump trailer, so that makes life pretty easy. It's really like I probably have like 30 yards of rock in my backyard because
Oh, wow.
I have a half acre lot, and when I moved into the place, like the fence line was just a real pain in the ass for me because you had to weed eat the entire fence line, and weed eating's just tough with one
Yeah.
hand. You got to run the prosthetic, and you're sore, and it's a bitch. So I ended up ripping out like a foot and a half to 2 feet. Sometimes in some places, like in the corners, I've got like 8 feet ripped
Oh,
out.
wow.
And I just rocked the entire thing. So I don't have to weed eat anywhere in my backyard anymore, which
Oh,
is
cool.
nice. So
Yeah.
I need like another probably 10 yards to go and like fill in some of the areas that
Yeah.
are like, cause it starts to sink and, stuff starts to grow through it. And I put down that weed blocker and shit like that. But anyways, I was going to tell you my neighbor's such a douchebag. Like I fucking hate him. Like he's not the worst neighbor I've had in this house, but he's just a douchebag and I don't like him. I probably told you this, but like my first interaction with him was like I had a bunch of rock in my driveway that I was like in the process of moving to the back, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing with that rock?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm using it in the backyard." And he's like, "Well, how about this? What if I mow your this like we have a small lawn that's like connected to our each other's, and mine's like 20 feet by 20 feet, maybe just a tiny little
Yeah.
patch of lawn that takes me 5 minutes to mow in my on my tractor mower, you know." And he's like, "Well, what if I mow your lawn for you and I can have that rock?" And I'm like, "No, that doesn't work for me. Like I need the rock." And at this point, like they didn't have a dump trailer, so I was paying for delivery, which was the majority of the cost at that
Yeah.
point was delivery. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, how about if I just mow the lawn for you anyways?" It's like, "Oh, you fucking piece of shit. You wanted to mow the lawn because you wanted it to look better with your lawn and you thought you could fucking get something out of me, for it, you fucking piece of shit." So right away I knew he was going to be a problem. But anyways, like luckily he like came over while we were doing it, and luckily I was inside doing something and I heard him out there, and I was like, I'm just not going out there while he's out there because I don't.
Yeah.
And apparently he went out there and he's like, "Oh, what happened to your garden? It looks horrible." And it's like, dude, it's fucking February. What the fuck do you think happened to it? And he's like, "Oh, so you're putting in a shed, huh?" And like nobody told him we were putting in a shed. So apparently somebody in my homeowners association told him that I was putting in a shed, even though it's none of his fucking business. And like, dude, I had to put in like a request to put a tough shed into my backyard. And when I like decided to do it, I was almost not going to do it, but I went through my CCNRs and they have everything so vague that like if you they have it to where if you do improvements on your property, you have to check with the homeowners
Oh,
association,
Jesus.
which like adding rock around the corner is an improvement. Planting a fucking a rose in my front yard is an improvement. So like where does it stop and start? You know what I mean? So I went around the neighborhood and I counted 45 tough sheds in the neighborhood. And so like I I have to get permission to put something in my yard that over half of the residents in this neighborhood already fucking have.
Fuck that. I was looking for land near here, and I came across like 7 acres for 150K.
That's
But I think
not
I'm
bad.
gonna no, but I think I'm gonna scale it back and do like 2 or 3 acres for 50 or 60K,
Mhm.
because I don't think I'm gonna build my forever thing there because I need to build something. I found these Amish built thing, like I guess they're modular homes, but the Amish build them and they drive them down, and I can get one of those for like 40 something.
That's
So I
not
think
bad.
I think I'm gonna get like an acre or two, put a lot of rock around the house, then build a pad for it, um, and just do all of that and figure out how to do it on a small scale and give myself optionality. Because the thing with the 7 acres is half of it's just a hill that goes straight
Mhm.
down.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough to deal with.
So
We had a lot of hill in the house that I grew up in Northern California, and like we had this side hill that had to be mowed, and it was a pain in the ass. You were either on the tractor like leaning off to the side
oh yeah,
like
no,
that,
this is
or
like
you're doing a
straight
push
down.
mower. It was a pain. You know, when I moved here, I was looking for an acre,
Yeah.
and I settled on half because it was just going to be too much to buy a full acre. And I grossly underestimated how difficult it would be to take care of a half an acre. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's trees. So like I'm gonna
Yeah.
have just like a quarter acre trees taken down, put rocks down, put the pad out. I'm gonna learn a lot along the way, but I'm probably gonna start that process in mid-April, so it should be interesting. But my hope is to um, get as off the grid as I can
Are you
with
going to get
like
like running water or like
a well,
something
probably.
with a well? Yeah.
Yeah, with a well, and then solar, and just like how can how much can I cut out of what I spend every month? Because my rent's stupid high here.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's the goal. We'll check in like May, and I'll let you know.
I've got a pack of seeds that I'm going to send you this week. I have to go and do
Oh
some
fuck, I got
Amazon
to do
returns.
that too.
So I'm going to send you some Cherokee purple tomato seeds.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're probably the best tomatoes I've ever had.
Oh,
So
they're so good, but they're like $6 a pound at the farmer's market.
they are, and they're tough. Like, so I'll write it down when but just so you know, these things you have to pick them early.
Okay.
Like when they may look like they're not ready to go yet,
Yeah.
but if you let them get to a point where they look like they're ready to pick, they
Yeah.
split really easy. So
Yeah. I
then they
always
don't
pull.
store at all once they're split.
Yeah, I always pull mine early and just put them in a paper bag.
Yeah, that's the
So
way to go with most of them. Like the cherry tomatoes and the yellow cherry tomatoes that I have, those the red ones split, the yellow ones don't. But like the red ones, you have to like be right on it. But if you
yeah.
leave them in a bowl on the counter or in a bag, like you said, they're ready to go in a couple weeks or
Yeah.
even a couple days sometimes. Like it just depends really. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I
I'll
gotta
send
get
that
going.
for you.
Well,
Yep, I do too. I got to get some dinner going and
glad
we'll
everybody tuned in and learned everything about the war.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you want to learn about the war, go listen to Dave or or Tucker. You know,
Dude,
like
you should. I was just thinking this as I was looking at the map. You should just fucking Twitch stream, like monitoring the situation or whatever.
I
Put it up on
could
YouTube too, live. I bet that would fuck like
just
do really well.
just stream that AI.
It maybe I could help you vibe code a different one or pull up more sources or whatever. But there's this dude who does weather. It's Ryan Hall, y'all. He does all the major weather events, and
Mm.
that dude makes fucking bank, and he just does it all from home.
Interesting. And I could hide that so it doesn't look like it's coming from me.
No, I would do like just do a voiceover and talk about it and all right, let's check in on the Sudan and all that shit. And you're only really busy when things are happening, but you're probably be 3 or 4 days a week and spend 5 hours on it. And I bet you'd get up to like 20, 30K a month doing it.
Wow. That'd be that'd be nice. I could definitely deal with that. I could definitely use 20 to 30K a month. That's awesome. Yeah.
Nobody steal this idea. Leave it to Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. All
All
right,
right.
man. It's a pleasure as always, and we'll do this again in a couple weeks.
All right. Sounds good.